Kalispera. Nice to see you all here. I hope you're relaxed. We'll talk about hotel and social media and how social media can affect your bookings directly on your website, but also, everywhere else. Because, first thing we have to discuss is your bookings, of course. How you know better than me how you get your bookings, direct or third parties. And what we really have to understand here is that wherever the booking takes place, wherever, be it booking.com, Expedia, or directly on your website, or maybe even on the phone, your digital presence is really, really fundamental. There are more than 150 million people using the internet to make reservations right now. This amount goes higher and higher every day. It's like two-thirds of everyone uses the internet to make reservations. It's 57%, almost 60%, and now 2 out of 3, what I just said, make their recommendations online. We have to understand that this is a huge number. The potential are even huge, are even bigger for the future prospect. Online bookings don't just happen. No one just Googles, an air carrier or a hotel and presses the book now. They search. 60% of every traveler does comparison shop. That means that he goes to this website and then to that website and compares. He compares all the prices. He compares all the facilities, all the amenities. We've got some different, percentages. I've got my metrics with the 13 of all global bookings coming from the OTAs. That's every kind of booking included. And now we're seeing the OTAs at 13%. And in the last 2 months before the trip, a traveler visits almost 40 different sites and digital media accounts, social media accounts, so he or she can make a book. He can make a reservation. What we also see is that when we're searching for a hotel or when we're searching for an air carrier, 8 out of the top 12 factors in ranking on Google or on Bing are social media. So social media is huge. Everything you do online or offline reflects your brand, and thus this reflects your booking. So there's a great spectrum of possibilities to achieve a booking. Social media are here to help. They are very influential. Why? Because social media are based on trust, on how much we trust our friends, how much we trust some peers. This is actually social media, but how influential? Let's see again some data. While planning a trip, 25 to 27% of the respondents said that they decided on a hotel, on a destination from the social media. 23% on a hotel. 22, on what to do there. Like, I went to Rome a few days ago. I actually searched on Twitter what to do in Rome during my stay. Where to go, where to visit. Colosseum, Fontana di Trevi, where? And of course, restaurants, where to eat. 52%, this is a huge number. 52% of social media users changed the original plans. That means that I wanted to go somewhere else, but I changed my plans due to social media, due to some people that I know and trust, my friends, that I saw them posting photos, I saw them posting activities that I thought they would interest me. So who is on social media right now? Well, simple answer, everyone. But let's talk about numbers. 1 billion active users on Facebook monthly, almost 300 million on Twitter, 200 million on Instagram, and 70 million on Pinterest. There are more stats There are different numbers again, but we're getting the idea of that now everyone has a social media account, at least when we're talking about the North America and Europe. So what can a hotel, a travel professional like a hotelier, because this is the most intriguing part, what can they do to benefit from social media? Well, we divide traveling into 3 periods, and that's universal. Before a visit, during, and after. So we have to set our goals audience-wise, which is the short term, who we want to attract. Reservation-wise, meaning how many people we want to attract, and then price-wise, how are we going to charge them? For the audience, well, first of all, find your core audience. It has been said a lot here that you have to find your target who comes to your hotel. Well, yes, except that define your ideal guests. Okay, so your hotel may attract, white males for no reason. You have to define your ideal guest, and you have to try and aim for that. Your current audience is your #1 ingredient to build an online community. Online communities are fundamental for social media. They know your business, they know what you provide, your USP, and they can recommend you. And this creates excellent word of mouth. And word of mouth translates into favorites, followers, reviews, and likes. Second, we talked about reservations. What we see is that more reviews mean better online engagement and more bookings. How does that happen? Reviews on travel sites and social media are essential for any booking to happen. Travelers who are looking to book read more than 2 reviews by 80%. 8 out of 10 people read 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, hundreds of reviews to decide on which air carrier to use or where to stay. And if there are no reviews for your hotel, they will not book. 1 out of 2. They need reviews. It's something really common is that, okay, but I've got a really negative review and someone gave me 1 star on TripAdvisor. People don't pay attention at extreme reviews as much as we think. Extremely good reviews and extremely bad reviews are not considered, genuine. So they skip it. They try to get the general feeling of reviews. Again, consumers trust word of mouth. We've covered that, until now. And online reviews, they trust it. They trust them. They trust other people like them. And then pricing. How all that affects pricing? Well, it's simple. A 20% increase on your review score, that's like on TripAdvisor, if you go from a 3 to a 4, means that you can increase your price without changing anything else, without reducing your bookings, without hurting your market share. Why? Because they understand that your product, your hotel, is better. So, what we should do on social media? First of all, an integrated, a holistic strategy. You have to use the offline strategy that you have, the marketing, and combine it with the online. You have to, build an easy-to-use, friendly website, accessible from any kind of device. I didn't even put it on. I think it's way more common and understandable than what we've talked about. You have to go mobile. Everybody knows it. I'm not even going to discuss this. You have to do social media. You have to be on social media. You have to find the social media that fits to your brand and be there. Printed ads, paid articles, you all do it, we all do it. we know what it is. TV radio spots, some of us do it because they're quite, well, more expensive. Email campaigns, again, fundamental. It's proven that email campaigns are vital to combine everything else together, especially from consumers, from people that liked your book, liked your hotel, liked your air carrier. It's really important to keep in touch with them. And of course, deal sites. Many of you are on deal sites. That's normal. You have to be able to say what you want on and what you don't want on. Pay attention to details. Deal sites are tricky. They could ruin your reputation, or they can build it, build it better. You have to be on charge. So, on social media, something very important is that you're not just yourself. You're addressing to people. And that means that you have to be true to yourself and your identity, but also give the people what they want. Be who they want you to be. So think of your brand as a person. Who would it be? Would it be Mr. Frank Sinatra? Nothing but the best. We want everything, to be in order. Or we want to be more like Marilyn Monroe, where normal is boring, and we want to surprise people. Think of it, and then build and promote this unique ID of your hotel on social media. Always think of your hotel or your air carrier as a person, and then promote this person. Talk as this person. Address to other people as this person. So, enhance your social audiences. Track your visitors. That's very important. Track your visitors who comes to your social media accounts, who logs in on your website, who responds to your emails. Promote your social media accounts, retargeting your site visitors. That's very important. Someone who managed to find their way, to your website is more likely to follow you on a social media account. Choose the right social media by understanding what your audience is like. That means that if you're targeting to women, you should be on Pinterest. It's as simple as that. Women love Pinterest. Women love pictures. You should be on Pinterest. If you're targeting the Latino market, South America, you should be on Twitter. Why? Because it's huge there. Find the right social media and don't be present everywhere. There's no reason to. It's like being everywhere is like being nowhere. And enhance your audience by targeted ads, of course, expand your audience by targeted ads. There's no such thing as a free meal, even if, creating an account is free. To draw people to your account takes effort, takes money. The tools to manage all that, well, most of you know them all: Google Analytics, Facebook Insights, Twitter Analytics. If you are on Twitter but not on Analytics, then you're not on Twitter. Know that. You have to get a report on what goes on who clicked, who saw, why. And of course on Pinterest, thankfully they've revamped the whole analytics and it's very usable now. And you can achieve great deals of things, of finding the right targets, of finding the right audience, and of finding the right content to post on your social media accounts. But what is the most important thing to do on social media? Because we've covered what you should do at first, but then, okay, now we're on social media, what do we do? Well, tell engaging stories. It's the storytelling buzzword that everybody has been talking about since the start of this day. Why? Using storytelling techniques showcases real experiences. That means that you put your audience into someone else's shoes who has already been there and done things. And that engages the audience, that captivates them, and it helps them dream and think of what they should do when they are there, and what should they have done, where they, had they missed the opportunity that someone else posted online. So we've talked about the before, during, and after, and here's the reality check. Every trip is a small story, and your hotel is the setting. It's like, this is where everything happens. Is it a castle? Is it a tower? Is it, into the woods? This is your setting. You decide it. Help your guests discover their stories in your hotel and help them, make them tell theirs, express themselves by reviews, by posting user-generated content. Help them, provide all the right ingredients for them to achieve this. So, before vacation, 54% of the travelers are excited for the vacation they're about to go. That's really normal. But statistics says that only 16% of brands make use of it. That's a great difference. That means that no one makes use of all the time from, from a trip that has been booked into actually going on. No one uses this time slot. Build a dream strategy before vacation begins. Build a strategy that will make everyone who follows your social media accounts dream about being there. During vacation, travelers like social media. They like, to share things. 1 in 5, and that's even bigger, share photos on social media, share status updates. 46% checks in. That means that 1 in 2 will check in, at your hotel. And again, 1 in 2 is more likely to do so if they have free Wi-Fi. Well, again, this makes sense. Why? Because travelers want to be online. They want to get tailored results like searches and where to go and attractions and post their experiences. What are you doing to help them achieve that? And moving on to our after vacation, travelers, 76% of them post photos. They post albums. You know that. Probably you've seen that. We've done it. Probably you've done it too. 55 like a page, like a Facebook page related to their vacation. That's really important. That means that if I've gone to Rome and I enjoyed myself, I will probably like the hotel that I stayed, or the social media account of the municipality of Rome. I will want to keep a connection with my trip. 46% write a review for the hotel, and 40% write a review on their restaurant that they went. So you have to prepare your social media accounts to amplify the nostalgia, this feeling that, oh, it was so lovely when we went on holidays, after the actual vacation. So on social media, you always have to be friendly, keep it casual, keep it simple, try to talk directly to people, be polite, of course, be helpful. People will want to get more info on their stay. Provide them with everything they need. Be well read. They will post questions that you had no idea ever existed, things and attractions that you didn't even know that they were there, and they were right by your hotel. And be proactive. People are going to be mean. Know that, deal with that, be prepared for that. Be prepared for the worst case scenario, even though it will probably never happen. And be current, something that we should always discuss. On social media, there's no reason to pre-schedule your posts for the year. You have to stay on top of the game, and staying on top of the game means that you know what the score is. Be current, what goes on in your city, what goes on the island, what goes on in Europe. You could even get a bit, into politics, but with a normal, like, humanitarian stance. And again, always respond. On reviews, always respond. On comments, always respond. On positive comments, you may want to just like, but always respond. Show that you've heard them. And lead them to your website. When you're linking, when you put some links on your social media accounts, when you're trying to generate traffic to your website, then lead them to your website. It makes perfect sense. Of course, there are exceptions, but talking about the general idea, try to lead them to book from your site. What our experience from Nelios has showed us, 12% of bookings nowadays can be traced to social media. And this is rising rapidly. Like in 6 months, I'm sure that it will be on 15% or something. This is really changing the way that we book. Direct booking requests on social media are gaining momentum. Again, we've received messages that say, hey, I want to book from that date to that date. Help me find the right accommodation. And customer service. With all that, it's like customers, you have to be proactive and prepare for everything. They see your social media account as a receptionist, as an online receptionist of your hotel. Be prepared for that. It's not that difficult. It's not that weird. Be well prepared. Again, some of our experiences, direct bookings, where we had, I want to travel from there to there, or indirect bookings. It was this girl who wanted some information about the village because she was interested in, booking. And then after we provided her with information like who was the owner of a small shop that she liked 2 years ago, it was this difficult. We had to call, actually the people on the hotel and ask them to go to the store and ask who the owner was. But we did that. We said, well, we can't reply right now. Just give us, a few days to check. And we did it. And then she booked on our hotel. Why? Because we were helpful. And client service, again, well, this happens. What, can you help us? And yes, we must be there. We must call whoever is, is at the reception right there and say, hey, these things happen on room, I don't know, please help. So what I was trying to get you is that, okay, you have to have an integrated strategy that makes sense. You have to take social media into account for everything. And all this will help you book from, directly from your website or social media now that, we're gaining momentum on that. And that's actually it. Now, an answer before you ask the question. If you do all that, will you break the internet? Will you be the next Kim Kardashian? No. No one's going to be the next Kim Kardashian in here. Because travel, it's fundamental. Travel and hospitality doesn't want to polarize audiences. To have the effect of Kim Kardashian, you have to have haters and likers, alike. Our industry is completely different. Well, thank you. That's all I had to say.